You probably know this game. It's Tetris, a, from my perspective, perfect game. Next, take a look at this. This is me playing Grid Shot in AimLab, although kind of rusty. Now, lastly, take a look at this. This is the subject of today's video, Super Smash Bros. Melee. These games all have something in common, except one of them makes me sweat. This and many other subjects are what this video is all about. So, strap in, get that L button ready for some cancelling, and let's get into it. Hi,
It's entirely possible that it may have been Endermen who were responsible for the construction of the pyramids.
but you can just simply call me Amazon. If you have ever played Super Smash Bros. Melee, the best-selling GameCube game, you'll probably relate to parts of my journey finding it. Whether you're an OG, you watched the documentary, or joined during the Slippi online revolution, or, like me, a concoction of some stuff. I'm mostly of the latter. A player fed up with the bullshit and surface-level gameplay of the latest entry into the series, Smash Ultimate. With the power of YouTube recommended, the legendary 9-part documentary series was to me recommended, and about 5 hours later I was already a fan of Super Smash Bros. Melee. Not only because of its fast-paced and fluid gameplay, but also because of the stories it holds within said fast-paced and fluid gameplay. If you have never heard of Super Smash Bros. Melee, let me educate you. In the quickest way that I could possibly do it. What makes Melee different from the other Smash titles? There are multiple, very boring and in-depth answers to this. But let's not be boring and in-depth. Instead, look at this. This is two aerials side by side. That's right. One of them is faster than the other to recover. This is one of the main differences in Melee, the mechanic called L cancelling. The L in L cancelling stands for either the L button or probably lag. When you do an aerial and as you land press the L, R or C button on your controller, your landing lag will be halved. This is a huge difference and a big mechanic in Melee, acting as a big wall for newer players and as an execution test for older ones. Missing an L cancel often doesn't mean that much, but you can definitely fuck up your combos or flow, so learn how to do it. The second and probably most known difference from the other Smash titles is the accidental addition of wave dashing, where, using the momentum of your air dodge, your character glides on the ground. I use this all the time, like literally once every few seconds. Microspacing, platform movement, and baiting are their most prominent uses for most characters, while others use it to do other stuff like wave shining with Fox and Falco. That's the basics of the advanced stuff. Let's instead look at some of the characters in the game. There are 26 characters in Melee, with about 10 or so being top tier and tournament viable. Each character has a unique loadout of moves, like their jab, their 4 directional aerials, their 3 smash attacks, and 4 special attacks. I obviously won't go into every single attack for every single character, but to understand why I play the character I do, let's look at my main character and his options in combat. Out of all of the 26 characters, I play Captain Falcon, the 6th rated on the so-called official tier list released in 2021. And ultimately, the reason I made this video. He is a pilot in F-Zero, a racing game I've never played, known for his righteous knee, and in Melee, for his flashy yet simple combo game. I gravitate towards him for another reason though. His movement options and admittedly goofy looking exterior. I mean, come on, he looks ridiculous. But before we dive into that, the movement options and so on, let's look at his attacks. His jab, the simple A move, is very good, with a versatile use in game. It can also be cancelled at the 3rd jab, the so-called gentleman. A tech that is unreasonably hard for what it does, and a tech that has been patched in the European versions of the game. I use it a lot as a way to extend my reach after landing/not landing another attack. Falcon's so-called tilts all kind of suck, outside of a couple of exceptions. His up tilt does nothing and should never be used because of its unreasonably long startup. His forward tilt has some usage, but only really as a poking tool or for very specific edge guards. That's when you're trying to guard the edge. Last is his down tilt. A great combo started at higher percentages and sometimes great for edge guarding. It's also kind of slow. His specials, however, are all very specific. Down special being a bad approaching / get out of corner tool with some uses in recovering. The up special is strictly a recovery tool with some exceptions. The side special is a combo extender with okay range. I use this one quite a lot, as it often leads into a combo or free combo ender like a knee. This leads us to the illustrious Falcon Punch. The Falcon Punch is an objectively bad move. It's slow, and it's worse than all the other combo enders in Falcon's arsenal. What this does though, is make it exceptionally cool. I mean, a hard-hitting, slow move that almost guarantees getting hit unless you manage to hit someone with it. Falcon, like all other characters, has 5 aerials. These aerials are why I use Captain Falcon. They're phenomenal and all lead into each other with such satisfying grace. The neutral air, a great approaching tool for example, is simple to use and works wonders. The back air is great for edge guarding or to play more defensively, and the up air is a great combo extender or for sharking underneath platforms or juggling your opponent. The down air, the legendary stomp, is a great combo starter and a great way to end your combo. It also perfectly leads to a knee, the next and last aerial. The knee, Falcon's forward air, is one of the best moves in Melee, acting as probably the best forward air in the game and the flashiest aerial. Falcon, like all other characters, has 3 smash attacks. But let's just say that Falcon doesn't need, nor should ever use them, outside of some exceptions of course. All of this leads us here, my favorite part of Melee. I teased at this in the very beginning of the video, with Tetris, aim training and Super Smash Bros. And their common attributes. What I was getting at was speed, repetition, muscle memory, and flow. I have a special relationship with these concepts, not because I'm some sort of expert, but because it fascinates me as someone that loves to see the difference it really makes. You see, there was this period of time where getting better at CSGO, well, mostly aiming, was a huge part of my life. I mapped out a training regiment and everything, with aiming and training aim being the biggest and most important parts of it. This aim training, often in a program appropriately titled Aim Lab, is one of the few ways I can induce the often infamous state of quote-unquote flow so many people yearn for. This state, flow state, is truly amazing, often short-lived, only a few minutes at a time, but still awesome. A state where everything just clicks, fully and utterly immersed with a focus, speed and precision never topped before. Trying to induce this flow, this state of perfection, while playing a game online with Russians in a lobby of CSGO is hard though, but not impossible. Sometimes, very infrequently, everything just clicks and my mind is teleported back to AimLab's Gridshot or CSGO's aim_bots, their heads lining up so perfectly with my crosshair. It's an amazing moment that I can often feel with other titles like Tetris. Fully focused while the block falls so fast a normal person wouldn't see its shape unless their eye is trained on the screen like their entire life is null. What I'm getting at, although slowly, is that in Melee, unlike CS, this flow state can be used almost all throughout a game. Most people don't label it something so cliché as flow state. To most, this is just called having a particularly good game where everything just hit. But that's not what I would call it. Sometimes you're just in a state of flow. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating for pseudoscience like whatever gamer fuel brands keep trying to make me take. No, I don't think flow state is anything more than a heightened sense of focus. But what I believe is that flow state does exist, because I've experienced it many a time. Look at these combos. I would never in my right mind make these happen if I wasn't playing the way I was. I have never done this before. There's no muscle memory for stuff like this. No, instead, I did something without thinking, just by pure feeling. This is an amazing feeling, when everything just clicks. When the up air leads to a knee, when the knee leads to another knee, or when the down throw leads into an easy kill. but most of these combos are completely and utterly redundant. I could have in most cases lived to see another stock, taken the easy route, or actually practiced a better way to finish the stock here, which leads us to the final question, and the question most of us will face when playing a game like Melee, CS, or Tetris. After all of this, after all of the minute details and unwelcomed ramblings, after all the L cancelling and wave dashing, here we are still, at the bottom of the Melee ladder, a mere step or two from the ground. The basics have been consumed and regurgitated, and the matchup knowledge is basic and with a Jigglypuff-sized hole. There was a time when I wanted to improve, and I wanted to do so very badly. I got an actual GameCube controller from a friend, and Patreon, Plants, the indigo one, a beaut, but it wasn't good enough. So I got the re-release they made for a newer Smash game, a black one with the logo on it. But that wasn't good enough either. So with this newfound love for a game, I spent just a bit too much for a custom controller sent from my friend in the US, Plants again. Now this is a controller to die for. Orange front shell, see-through back, snapback modules, trigger stops, and balded black buttons. It's the perfect controller for me, and honestly more than I deserve, because well, I keep doing this. I did all of this to feel as though there was nothing in the way of my improvement, and the improvement I saw, especially when I switched characters for real. Yep, I used to be a Jigglypuff main, but I grew bored of the character. Both because I hated to play against her, but also because playing as her felt too cheesy, preying on the hatred of other players. But my time with the character proved paramount to my Captain Falcon play. My aerial drift is great, and my recovery is the same. But damn, sometimes I wish I played another character for over 2000 games. Melee, like many of its contemporaries, is a game about playing the other player, or in some specific instances, their character. This lonely game of Melee, is played in a one-on-one setting. You against your foe in a battle of pure skill, or luck and bullshit if you're in that type of mood. I tend to lose about as much as I win. I can give you some bullshit reasons as to why I don't win or don't lose that much, but I'm sure we'll get into that later. What I'm trying to get at right now though is that Melee, even at the highest level, is about you and your opponent. You can't blame anything on the game. I mean, it's 20 years old. We have it basically figured out. You're not the one ahead. You will, until the end of your journey with the game, always have something to improve upon. Improving. That word scares me a bit, because I've spent probably up to 500 plus hours in this game by now. Hell, 1000 doesn't sound all that preposterous, but after all of this time, I still felt myself steadily improving, up until pretty recently. I'm just not getting any better. This is what people call a plateau, a flattening of the skill curve. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not doing any real training outside of just playing one-on-one online versus random and a couple of friends. But with the amount of time I'm spending, I feel like improving should be a given. But it just isn't. I'm stuck here, forever jumping off the map without a plan of action, wave landing and moonwalking just for the hell of it. I mean, there are things I know I should do to improve. I still don't hit all of my gentlemen, and I don't even try to tech chase. But the thing is, the root cause of it all is so very simple. I don't want to. With all that said, I don't want to be a professional player. I'm playing this game on a level not even halfway up the ladder of average players. What I'm getting at is that I suck. But I have fun. I don't have the balls to actually care enough to actually improve, which in turn leaves me vulnerable to getting hurt. If I care, I'll be sad when I lose. Instead, I choose to laugh it off, to blame my own incompetence on the other playing being cheesy, or just being better than me. Giving up. I don't give myself enough credit to actually improve outside of the small things I evidently pick up by playing a lot. But this training isn't focused. A somewhat adept player will reach and surpass my level with ease if they focus on improving more than I've done. I play to have fun, and I think that really does show when playing Slippi Unranked. The amazing fan-made addition to the Dolphin, GameCube and Wii emulator that adds seamless and perfect online integration, and pretty recently, even a ranked mode. If I don't think Melee was fun, I'd stop playing it, but with that said, Melee really shows you how much fun the other player is having. They'll start copying the moves they think you're using too much. They'll start teabagging or taunting even after a mediocre or cheesy kill, or they'll just spam LOL after the game. I hate to see these, but I also can't lie to you and say I haven't done the same. Never to the extent of this guy though, sitting in a game and destroying his fingers for almost 5 minutes straight, just because I used neutral air too much. I have fun, and to many, that really aggravates them. So I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry I've given up on trying to improve and play the meta as much. I'm sorry I spam neutral air and jab. I'm sorry that I falcon punched you when you were already down, and I'm sorry that I changed characters when I lost it only to win because I know more about the matchup. There's a reason I tense up and feel almost nauseous when I start to search for an unranked game. Not because I hate to lose, and don't get me wrong, I don't like losing, but because I'm scared that I'll meet another person that really shouldn't be playing this game right now. Someone who spams LOL after winning or losing. Someone who, at least for now, isn't having any fun. Melee instead acting as a way to express this feeling of disgust and malice. I don't want to play you. No one wants to. If you're that guy, if you feel hit by this message, maybe don't search for just another game. Instead, go do something else. I promise it'll be more fun than the torture you're putting yourself through. Trust me, I would know. Thanks for watching, and good luck, but more importantly, have fun. This game really wants you to. Thanks for watching. This video didn't turn out anything like I wanted it to. But here we are, a somewhat profound ending later with a newfound hope for the future. Or something like that. The update on the Minecraft script is this. I'm only 1,000 words from 30,000 words, and very close to finishing it. That's that, but there's something else. I'm going to be taking the month of March to focus on the script for the Minecraft video and starting scripting others, but more importantly, I'll probably won't release a video, outside of this one, in March. So I'm sorry about that. I'm pretty close to finishing my culinary course and that needs some serious attention in March. But without further ado, thanks for watching and I'll see you again pretty soon.